Gala still hanging on by a thread. This is what I mean. I've talked about this falling wedge pattern with you guys for quite some time. Okay, and what I'm seeing here for Gala is that as of last week's weekly candle close, that was a close right on the trend line here, this bottom trend line of the falling wedge pattern. So it's very close, but I'm going to say that it did not invalidate this falling wedge pattern. You guys can make the judgment for yourself, right? By charting this falling wedge pattern, if this is what you're seeing as well. And you can make the judgment for yourself as of last week's weekly candle close if that invalidated the falling wedge pattern. Okay, I'm going to say it did not. However, we got a weekly candle close coming in about almost 6 hours. If this weekly candle close closes something like this, like at this level right now, that is going to invalidate this this falling wedge pattern, because that is a very clear weekly candle close below the bottom trend line here, and you got to be consistent. Okay. Now, let's zoom into the daily time frame here. And I pointed out to you guys a falling wedge pattern on the daily time frame, which basically got invalidated because it broke to the downside. However, the breakdown here also got invalidated when the price action ended up back into the pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and invalidate that smaller falling wedge pattern altogether. Now, Gala here could be looking at a potential cup and handle scenario if it comes back to retest about 1.27 cents. Okay, 2 times. If it tests this 2 times, that would form a cup and handle pattern, because it is still trying to form the cup part of the cup and handle right now. So that is a scenario that's possible. It is not a formed or established scenario right now. Very important to be paying attention to Gala's weekly candle close, because if it invalidates that falling wedge pattern, that is not going to be good. Now, let's just say that if Gala does not invalidate this falling wedge pattern and still ends up back into this falling wedge pattern by this week's weekly candle close, then the price target here of about 11 cents would still be valid. Okay, now price targets are estimates only, a lot of which does depend on what happens with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts dumping from here, which there is still a risk of, okay, then a lot of these altcoin setups, they're not going to matter very much. So very important to be paying attention to Bitcoin. I did a more detailed video on Bitcoin earlier today. I will link you guys at the end of this video. I am still long on crypto. I am still bullish on crypto, at least for the longer term, okay, because of several arguments, one of which including that the Federal Reserve has started its Fed rate cut cycle back in September. That is going to be one of the main arguments, in addition to a few more that I've been talking about, okay? So this is basically what I'm seeing for Gala. I am long on crypto. I am bullish on the markets as a whole still. However, these are just my opinions and not financial advice, like the entirety of this video, and you guys gotta form your own opinions and strategies. This basically wraps up for this video. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any more of Gala or any other coins in this market. I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis. I'll see you in the next one.